This here's a review of Rushmore Shadows Campground. So, in the morning, when we come outside, the deer were walking around the campground. So, and that was pretty cool. The dogs enjoyed it. Sometimes they didn't even see them running though. They would come out in the morning and then they would run back across into the woods that was near the campground there. It seemed like just about every morning that they were there. We really liked taking the dogs for a ride, so they were with us when we did our review. And out here is the entrance. It's a main highway that kind of goes out of Rapid City south, that looking that way towards Black Hills, and then it's about 7 miles up to Rapid City. As you come into the campground, it's a pretty wide open entry area, and the campground is off to the side of it. But as you see, when you come in, it's a pretty easy entryway. Right over here is the dog park, and it's on the inside of the campground. We're still on the outside, but as you come up to the gate, what you'll notice is that there's a keypad. When you check in, they give you the keypad number. Then you can come and go as you need to. The entryway is on the right hand side, and it's a pretty simple process, obviously, similar to what everybody is. And right there is where the keypad is. Once you come in, you'll see where you can park on the side over here on the right hand side. This is where the RVs park, and you can park there, walk over to the entryway or the office for the registration. This building right here on the right. There's also an office area there, a little clubhouse thing, and that's the maintenance over there. You can also get propane on site. It was about $3.60 a gallon, which was pretty good. You can see that there are mostly paved roads, but there are some gravel areas, and as you drive around, you'll be able to see those. The side that we stayed in, which is right on the right side when you come in, is all paved, and they're all full hookup, obviously, but it's a pretty wide open area. There's no really trees for shade or anything. We kind of like this. The sites are really wide, and you can see they're all pull throughs, but the sites are pretty wide also. One thing we did note was that it's very windy here. I fly a flag, and I shredded a flag for it because the winds were so strong here. Right over on this side is the dog park. It's a pretty good sized dog park, and it was pretty clean while we were there. They do have water and a bowl there for the dogs. This kind of shows how the sites are laid out, and you can see how wide they are. They're about, I would say they're probably 16 to 18 foot wide. So 8 foot vehicle fits on one side, and then you have enough room to put out your patio furniture, little dog cage, whatever you want. They are full hookup, and you can see there's the sewer on the left hand side. There's also a picnic table and fire pit in the sites. This back side over here is all back end sites. There didn't seem to be any difference in how the sites were. It's just either pull in or back in. These sites that were down here where you can see the RVs, they were there the entire time we were there. They didn't look permanent, or if they were permanent, they were very well taken care of. To the right side is all just forested area. That's where the deer seem to run off to. And there's a fence, but there's really nothing down that way. So it's, even though it's paved and open, it's a pretty um, campground type feel to it, because you do have the woods and not a lot of just houses and other traffic. So this was our campsite, and you can see the RVs parked here, and then we have on the other side, we have enough room to put up our little dog pen and our carpet and chairs. Now when we go into the other side of the park, a lot of it is gravel, and what we see is that it's still pretty well taken care of. The entire park was pretty impressive. It was very clean, very well kept. The only thing we noticed was that, as you can see right here in the middle, in between the RVs, it's a little narrower between the RVs, one RV and the other RV. So that might be the only difference really between these sites and the other pull-throughs that we're in. Also, next to this campground is a very large field. Now, this is still in the campground, and the other section of the campground is on the other side of that building that you can see over there. That building is where the pool is. That's where the laundry room is. There's a little tiny clubhouse area there. And I'll show you that in a few. There's a cool little miniature golf area. We came up here and played miniature golf. It's just, they have the clubs, they have a little score thing. They also have all the balls that you would need, and the little score pads are in this little box that's located right here. The miniature golf course is pretty well maintained. We played it, like I said, and we thought it was a cool little addition to the camp. There's also cabins, as you can see up here on the left hand side. So they do have some cabins that are available. Speed limit through here is 10 miles an hour, and there are multiple cabins on the left hand side. Here's a playground. Here's another shot of the pool and the clubhouse area where the laundry is. This other section of the campground, you can see, is it's just a different area. Most of the sites seem to be very similar to the other side, except over here there are a few more trees, and also the sites are gravel. Right here on the left is like a small gazebo or picnic area. Down here, there is a grouping of cabins, which is pretty cool. All of them have different names like Devil's Tower Lodge and Spearfish Canyon Lodge. Different names of the different areas that are around in the park in Black Hills. If you come down here, this is a kind of cul-de-sac, if you will, so it loops around. But there's a different entrance area. I'm going to show you a section that is in the back here, which are covered wagons for camping. And they have their own area. And inside of this area, you can see the little paths that go to each of the cabins. They're like a cabin, but they're a covered wagon. They all have their own fire pit. There's also a big group fire pit with a little cooking triangle. And there's also their own bathhouse and showers and bathrooms. So this is a pretty cool little addition. It's just covered wagons. And the only thing that they told us inside was that there is no air conditioning in here. So if it gets kind of hot outside, it can be kind of hot inside of those. So there wasn't a whole lot of hills in the campground, and we were able to easily ride our electric bikes around the campground, as you can see. So you can see how this layout is. This is a back end, then on the other side there's another back end. And so that RV backs in, this RV backs in, and you can see these back end sites kind of back up to each other. They look pretty spacious. We didn't see any real issue with how they're laid out. And right here, there's a couple cabins where people can stay. Right here is on the left hand side is another dog park, which looks like it's pretty spacious area. Picnic table and area for the dogs to run off leash. And then as we get up here on the right hand side, as you can see here, this is a tent camping area. So there's space all along this right hand side, which kind of backs up towards the woods for tent camping. So you have a spot located here, and this is kind of the parking area. And you can see that it has a good spacious amount of area for you to be able to put up your tents. Right here on the left hand side is the RV dump station. It has a pull through, it has water, but it doesn't have a hose hooked to it. So you probably have to hook your own hose up to it. So right here on the right is the tent camping areas, and you can see that they have quite a bit of space. Then over here on the left hand side, you have more RVs, pull through sites, and these are gravel and pull through sites, and they're pretty good sized. And as you come up here, you can see this nice long back end has a lot of space. There's multiple back ends along here that are pretty good sized. Also, right here on the left, there's a basketball court and some swings and a couple little other things for kids to play on. And right across from that are some more back-end sites. And then this section looks like it might be the older section, but they're both really well maintained. The only difference that I saw is that these are gravel sites and the other ones are actual paved. And as we come along here, you can see that this is kind of a back area, but it also gives you quite a bit of space, and there's a few trees around over here, while on the other side there are no real trees. On the back side of this, there's a neighborhood on the back side of the campground, but we really never noticed it. We did take our bikes and ride through it because it at the entrance is also the entrance to that neighborhood, but it's not noticeable. Doesn't affect the campground at all. There are these sites here that you can see that are a little more wide open, but we never saw anyone staying in those the entire time we were here. And then if you come up this road here on the right hand side, some of these RVs seemed like they were here more of a seasonal type rental, a little longer. Maybe some of the maintenance people or camp hosts were staying in these locations over here. And up here on the left hand side, there's a whole nother section of cabins. And there looked like there was a few other RV spots up here that we could see, but kind of keep all of the different areas segregated. If you look down over on the right hand side here, this is where the maintenance guys actually stay during their time that they're here. And not all of them are permanent residents of the area. Some of them, we talked to a few, they are here temporarily, just like we were, but they're actually work camping. So they're here maintaining the campground, working, and then the campground gives them, a free campsite, and they work, they maintain the campground. So I think by doing this, it makes the campground look a little more presentable. So it's not a bad move by the campground to have people work there that actually live there. And that's the entirety of the campground. Not super big, but pretty big. They got quite a few spaces, well maintained, and overall we really enjoyed this campground. They did have the on-site laundry, which is down by the swimming pool, little playground here, and the laundry that was here, they have a little clubhouse type area, and then here is the laundry area. So you can see on the bottom you got 3 washers, on the top you got 3 dryers. The pool was not open while we were there, but you can see that they were working on it to get it ready and open for the season. So that's our review of Rushmore Shadows, and we just did a quick ride around and showed you some of the sights and some of the features that are here. And as you can see behind us, it's just we really like this campground quite a bit. Perfect location. I mean, from here you're about 15 minutes from Hill City. You're about 25 minutes to Custer. You're about another 20 minutes. You're 20 minutes to Keystone, which is right where Mount Rushmore is. You got Crazy Horse there. You have all the Needles Highway. And then if you just go north 7 miles, you're into Rapid City. And so you have all of the main places there that are featured. So there's a few little restaurants around here that we go to. And we can't wait to explore more of this area tomorrow. We're going to do all of the Wildlife Loop, Needles Highway, Iron Mountain Road, and we'll get that on the review as well. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on the road.
God bless. Thanks for always empty, living life light and free, from the mountains to the sea, every mile's a memory.
Overall, this is a nice campground. We enjoyed the space. It was a little windy, but it was nice.